right, early on, I do like that you're postured up on your knee. Uh, the mistake being that you're too close. Typically, I like to stand and then start to pass that way. I like to stand and then keep my feet kind of away, hunch over, and start using my hands to get these grips. If I allow him to be too close to my legs, they can go into the guard of your choice. In this case, he goes into half. So now you're playing his game. He loves half guard. You love half guard. So it's a position where, yes, you're on top, but he's in a probably a slightly more comfortable position because he likes to play from that guard, and you're now having to defend. I would not worry about this, and I would go forward. Right arm, underhooking his near side arm, and then your left arm controlling the head. Gable grip both hands together and press your chest down. You can start to TP, raise your hips, and then either start cutting to knee cut or going to mount. But that pressure, chest to chest pressure is going to be huge. Right now, you're giving him a lot of space. You crowd a bit. I think he's going deep half. You're attacking the arm, which isn't a bad thing. But when you give up this space here, this is really what he wants. Anyone who's on bottom, they want space. They want to be able to breathe. They want to be able to not carry your weight. And when you have this kind of spacing, they're less threatened. I think I may have said that here. Because you start going chest to chest, which is great. Get this underhook. I think, yeah. So in order to combat this, bring this arm between his ear and your left elbow. Create a little bit of a stopgap where you can't follow, and then start to sprawl this leg out. You'll be able to break this. Additionally, if you stay in this position, you can actually attack the forearm with Americanas, Kimonos, straight arm locks. Something that we always do in the gym, we accept these sweeps. Like, this is a technical sweep, but you kind of aid him in the process as well. Like, you allow him to come up and you accept the bottom position. It's a bad habit that we get in the gym, and it's one that I really want to break from you guys. If you can get back up, get back up. Don't allow the points, especially if you're competing, because that's 2 points for him, and he has a dominant position. Fight your way back up. You accept. We end up in half. You see how his chest is down, back is straight. He's controlling the head. He might also be controlling the far side arm. His hips are down. Like, this is how you should be playing. Top half. Defending that arm pretty good. I think you end up with an underhook at some point. Good. Developing knee shield. Get that hook. So this is solid. Just make sure that this shield doesn't come over too far, especially with heavy people. Like, well, the shield's out of the way now, which allows him to crush. This is your lifeline, so you have to put that back in. If it's not in, then you have to have an underhook. If you have that underhook, then the shield can go away. Without the underhook, it becomes really a position that they like, and they'll start punishing from. Beautiful underhook. Let's go back a bit. So there's a spot here where you kind of like your legs, they're not in position, and it's hard to describe. They almost like kick out for really no reason. It's almost as if you're trying to get that hip escape, but you don't have real estate to perch on. This leg always has to be on the ground if you're trying to get a hip escape. The minute they leave the ground, you don't have motion. So I like to keep this leg on the ground at some point, and that allows me to push off. Without it, I can't really get to where I want to go. So I would push off a bit further, and then I would get this underhook deeper. This isn't bad though. Like you can hip escape here, and then start playing like a butterfly hook with this leg on the inside. I think you hip escape, and then your knee goes in. Yeah. All right. Quick tip. The minute this knee goes in, first over the ankle, like you dove the knee in first, he can then dominate this position by dropping his hips. Because the knees are so close together and the hook isn't actually active yet because it's out of position, he can dominate, sprawl over the top of both knees, and then go to mount, take your back, pass on side. I would rather you flare out the knee and throw in the hook first. Angle it in first. That way he doesn't have the option of tackling both legs together. In this case, it worked. I think you go for a collar choke, which is not a bad idea. He defends. So you're trying to go under. You can actually go over. When you defend the under, you can send your spare hand over the top and then grab this material here. And then bring the elbow down and start choking it a very similar way. If you can't picture it, let me know and I can go over it. Defense nicely. Bail. And then you start protecting against the hand. Nice knee shield, beautiful. So here's a trick. The bad side of going for the sleeve all the time is that it can bunch up and roll up away from you. So I tend to grab the actual wrist and hand because I don't have to worry about sleeves moving. I don't have to worry about sleeve rolling up, and his hand doesn't move unless I allow it, or he's stronger than me. So I grab the wrist hand. It avoids this action over here of the clothing bunching up and him still being able to grab. Keep that in mind. He's doing really good about the knee shield, hip escaping. Your hook in the back is a little loose. So keep that in mind. This is really good. Turn back. Now you're in butterfly. Mount. You defend really well. You don't give up. And I believe you end up trapping and rolling. Beautiful. So at this stage, I want you to sit back on your heels, like your butt to your heel. And I want you to really exaggerate this motion. Like, I don't want you this close to his head. Closer you are to his head, the easier it is for him to throw up submissions. If you're postured up, he has to make up all that distance. So right now you're still kind of hunched over, too close to the chest. It opens. Nice pass. Beautiful. Underhook. He's defending the arm, which he's going to do. Control the hips. Don't worry about the arm so much, just control those hips. At this point, you just kind of wait him out. Don't rush, don't move forward, just control the hips. Nice. You're going to have people who throw that up. It's more of an annoyance than anything. Nice guard recovery. See how he's postured up? This is huge. He's away from your chest, away from your guard. Nice choke attempt. Pull him in with your knees on occasion. You can break that posture and force him forward. So, two things. If you're recovering knee shield or butterfly hooks, throw the hook in first, not the knee. If your knees are close together, they're going to squash. Don't accept sweeps or transitions. Force your way back up, or at least to a neutral position, that you're in a more advantageous spot opposed to him just getting the sweep points, getting on top, and being able to smash. You do not want to be on bottom. Bottom is inferior to everything on top. All your points come from on top. Your advantages come from up top. Practitioners have gotten to a point where they've become so lazy that they love the bottom. But the bottom is a losing position. No way, no matter how you look at it. So don't accept, get back up, get to a neutral position. I think those are the two big takeaways. You were already cementing some of the things that we went over during the private lessons, so I'm happy about that. Let me know how this week goes.